Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Broadcast.gg Scrim-Nights, today featuring Ungentlemen and Fight to Win. I am Moo, and with me tonight is Shy Guy Overwatch. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing real good tonight. How about you?
Pretty good. Just filled my stomach with some food. Feeling ready to watch some good Overwatch gameplay, and I just can't wait.
Absolutely. Always excited to get back into it with these scrim nights. It should be a really good one. We've got a great matchup on our hands this evening, featuring two really top-level teams. To start things off, we're gonna be coming at you with a veteran of the Broadcast.gg scrim nights. We've got the Ungentlemen. They're a team of about 4K, so low Grandmasters level players for the most part. Led by their captain and founding DPS player, or founding flex player, Scooty, who's going to be backed up in that tank line by their Reinhardt main Bullywug. And then the DPS combination of OP Freeze and Rhino, playing a lot of Genji and Tracer. A lot of flanking DPS coming through for this team. They definitely like to play that dive style. So I would fully expect to see a lot of that coming out. And then keeping everyone alive, making sure that no one gets into too much trouble is going to be Scorpion, Zero, and Banana Bolts on the supports. Now, why don't you give us a little bit of an idea of what they're going to be going up against, how interesting of a matchup we've got on our hands tonight.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have one interesting matchup, as you said. Of course, they're gonna be against Fight to Win, as we discussed earlier. Randall Thor is one of the players, but also the team captain for this roster, and he will be playing on a DPS role. And as this meta suggests, he will be playing Widowmaker, one of his preferred heroes, but he also is a flex tech and support. That's a thing to note. Anti-AIDS will be his DPS buddy, probably filling in that Hanzo role as it's its preferred character, but we could also see some Genji or something else. We don't know. Projectile DPS is Pharah. Tape X will be the flex player, but also for this composition on the Diva most likely. Tail Yellow, the main tank, the anchor, Winston main, ready to come in and just wipe everybody off the face of the earth. And with that, to keep him alive, we'll have PK, IV, and Oriotos, who are both support players. PK IV being a Zenyatta player, and Oriotos an Ana player. And we're going already into Watchpoint Gibraltar, a map that is enjoyed by a lot of people.
Yeah, this is a very, very classic map in Overwatch. One that gives you a lot of very good sight lines for the snipers. So this has long been a place that Widowmakers thrive, and I fully expect to see some of that coming out from both sides here this evening. For the time being, I think it's probably going to be Randall Thor and maybe Rhino playing that on their respective teams, but we'll see exactly how these teams want to play it. The first point is incredibly open and just allows for a lot of different ways for teams to play it, especially on the defense. You've got a lot of options. You can opt to kind of play very passively and let the offense work their way into you. Or you can try to take the fight to them and see what you can do on that front. We'll see exactly how the Ungentlemen opt to come out on the defense here.
We gotta talk about that silly goose happening into the spawn, putting a shield onto the chalkboard and just making it spin. But something that may be more relevant to the game will be the odd composition on the defensive side for Ungentlemen, who are running a dive composition, which is not very usual. And so is, in fact, Fight to Win with their Genji, considering that this is one of the only maps where dive is still alive. It's not too unlikely, but still.
Yeah, the choice of coming out with the Brigitte as the third support in the dive composition for the Ungentlemen is kind of interesting. OP Freeze going with that, but Scooty going to get D-Mech to start things off. That's a good opening for Fight to Win as they make their way forward.
Oh yeah, and while the fight is happening on the high ground, in the low ground, it's going to be Rhino trying to just focus down PKIV but he's able to fend off for himself fairly well while not killing Rhino, just removing the pressure off him. And this Zenyatta's going to be dealing a lot of damage if he's kept undealt with.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Ungentlemen trying to regroup here, get all of their members back before the dive can come in full. But Anti-Age's going to go with the Dragon Blade in the back. He picks up 3 to open things up.
Oh yeah, that was a blade that was built up really fast and really just well put together, and it's gonna enable actually Fight2Win to probably push this point, as that triple kill is now giving them a man advantage.
Yeah, but Ungentlemen are going to have an opportunity to come back in on this one. Rhino dropping early is going to make things a little bit difficult for them, and Scooty getting demech means they are much less sustainable on this point. But Scorpion Zero has managed to get the res off, and now the Valkyrie.
And at this point, TailYellow was staying alive, had the Primal Rage available, but since he does not use it, signals that the push is over.
Yeah, that res coming in onto Rhino is actually incredibly huge for the Ungentlemen. He's able to immediately hit a very impactful pulse bomb to swing the fight in their favor. Comes up with another kill after that. The Tracer working pretty well for the Ungentlemen right now, especially given that she doesn't have to run into a Brigitte or anything that really counters her right now.
Yeah. Oh, and here it goes. TailYellow trying to jump out to the Zenyatta. PKIV, however, will stay. Not PKIV, sorry about that. Banana Bolt able to stay alive due to the fact that the jump did not succeed. And we're going to see Randolph Thor just sniping from afar, able to get OP freeze, looking for another one. Though Rhino is able to get inside that server room and stay safe. Though Randolph Thor is aware of that, still looking for a couple of shots. Will relocate, looking for more. Zenyatta possibly, but no, barely misses the shot, hits the body. Not quite enough. Dragon Blade gets pulled by Anti-Aids once again, second of the game. Only 1 kill this time so far before he gets taken out.
And now Bullywug just trying to stall things out on the cart. He had the Primal Rage up no longer. Just trying to dance in and around this bubble, but he will be eliminated very shortly. And Fight2Win have made fairly quick work of this first point. A decent bit of a defense coming out from the Ungentlemen, but now they're trying to get a couple of these staggered kills. OP Freeze has the other supports there with him, so probably not about to fall at this point. But just some free movement on the cart for Fight2Win as they make their way onto the shuttle phase. Neither team really having a lot in the bank as far as ults go. The rally available for OP Freeze, but TailYellow goes in with the Primal Rage, takes down his counterpart, and Bullywug is now getting on to Scorpion Zero, who is falling very, very low.
However, Rhino is still out there dealing the damage, not touched at all. He's just free to focus whoever he wants. Anti-Aids gets quickly taken out and is made quite a work of. However, Randaltor, his DPS teammate, is going to be able to deal quite a lot of damage before he gets focused down. But as we said, Bullywug just on him all the time.
Yeah, Bullywug gets back into the fight at just the right time to be able to take down the Widowmaker, who otherwise had some free reign up on the high ground. And very good timing there for the Ungentlemen, as now they are starting to look pretty good on this defense with just over 2.5 minutes to work with on the side of Fight2Win. They are making a few little swap-ups right here. It's going to be Randolph Thor off of the Widowmaker, now onto the Pharah. A little bit of an unconventional pick on this shuttle phase, but there is some opportunity for Pharah to get around on the flanks and really take control of the high ground.
And I mean, it's not like the Widowmaker had been working due to the immense pressure that TailYellow is actually mimicking right now, getting on this high ground and ready to drop onto whoever he needs to drop onto. And it turns out it's going to be the Winston that's diving, TailYellow counter diving his own backline. And it's going to be the forced transcendence from PKIV due to the fact that Bullywug just did so much damage to him. Stuck him in the corner, forced him to use it. Though Anti-Aids has his Dragon Blade, and we could see it being fought right after this Transcendence fades away. And as it does, we should see come, maybe not, quite surprising, but what we will see is TailYellow finally using the Primal Rage. The Dragon Blade comes out as well. First kill, looking for another. This stun coming up from Vegeta, however, is going to cancel that ultimate. And it's going to be just the fight going in favor of Fight2Win.
Yeah, but things going back and forth right now, and a couple members of the Ungentlemen still on this cart. It's just the tanks left for Fight2Win, trying to stall things out, but they're going to have to retreat and try to regroup with their team as Rhino chases down, gets the DMech on to tap X. That's a really good stagger there for the Ungentlemen, allows them some time to stabilize, and in that chaotic fight, you know, both teams opting to pop both support ults, but the Ungentlemen just doing it a little bit later allows them to have a bit more sustainability on the cart. And now it's under a minute left for Fight to Win to work with. They've got to make something happen pretty quickly. They're trying to posture for position on top of the shuttle.
Yeah, I made a bad call right there, thinking that the fight was over when it wasn't, talking too fast. But you know who doesn't talk or do plays too fast? It's Rhino coming from a diving pulse bomb from the air, coming in Superman like a meteor. And what is going to happen now on your screen is OP Freeze is swinging his play left and right, dealing damage while healing his teammates. Not at a rate sufficient enough to keep himself up or his allies. And this is going to be Anti-AIDS, who now has been on this Brigida, dealing just that much damage as well.
Yeah, and this is gonna be the fight for Fight to Win to actually come out on top. Now the stall just coming in for the Ungentleman. Bullywug with the Primal Rage is gonna try to do what he can, but Randolph Thor with the barrage takes down Scorpion Zero, and there's not gonna be a good opportunity for Ungentleman to turn this fight back in their favor.
As you said, however, the Rally and the Rocket Barrage were used right there, though the rest of the ultimates will be available for Fight to Win this next fight.
Yeah, but that was a very good stall for the Ungentlemen there. They're now getting pushed back towards their spawn, but Fight to Win with just over a minute left on the clock to try to close out this map. Rhino switching over to the Widowmaker is going to get the early pick onto Randolph Thor, shuts down the Pharah up in the sky, and now has all the room in the world to just take pot shots as Fight to Win try to make their way to the cart.
A switch needed to happen, although Tracer is technically a hit scan. She does not deal with Pharah very well. Not a good one, at least. We know incompetent can happen, but Scrim's not as easy. Not as easy to make happen. But you know what is easy to make happen? Pressing that Q button, becoming a big red monkey, ready to slap people around, and that's exactly what ShyGuyOW did right there. Use the Primal Rage, but Tapex is going to be the real star of this fight so far, getting the double kill with the self-destruct sequence, and it's just cleanup at this point. With a 2-man advantage, it can only get worse. Even though Ungentlemen are trying to fend for themselves, it's just a stagger trying to keep the card contested.
Yeah, but the Ungentlemen are going to have the opportunity to come back out onto this cart as 6. Fight to Win just trying to crowd out the doorways right now. But with both support ults up for both teams, this is going to be a protracted last team fight, I think.
Oh, definitely. Very staggered out. First Transcendence fades away as the second one gets used. The self-destruct sequence comes through, but does not kill anybody. However, it will alleviate enough pressure to enable Scorpion Zero's Mercy to resurrect OP Freeze's Brigida. And now the both flails on both teams are swinging, and OP Freezes uses his rally to aid Ungentlemen. And this is going well for Fight to Win, due to the fact that Randall Core is way in the back, taking pot shots and not being contested, due to the fact that Ungentlemen need to contest the payload. They cannot spare any man to go and contest Randall Thor.
Yeah, now it's just the Lucio of Banana Boats and OP Freeze alive left on the cart. They both fall, and Fight to Win are going to get the full 3 points here on Gibraltar as they close things out. That final fight was absolutely chaotic, but there was just a little bit more left in the bank for Fight to Win. And with Randolph Thor able to just sit back in that fully safe position, there was someone on the Ungentlemen needed to step up if they wanted to bring that one back and start getting some kills on the cart. But with all the sustainability from the rally, the Transcendence, the Valkyrie on the side of Fight to Win, there just wasn't really a good opportunity for anyone to make that kind of hero play. And Fight to Win are just able to clutch things out and keep themselves in a very good position to take Gibraltar.
No, here's the thing. They only captured on overtime, meaning they have no time at all in their time bank. So in theory, if Ungentlemen are able to push and have some time in their time bank, they automatically win in a regular tournament.
Well, no, not on an escort map. That is true on kind of the hybrids or the assault type maps. But no matter what, the Fight to Win are gonna have another opportunity to go at the attack, even if the Ungentlemen finish with some time left in the bank.
Even in tournaments, I thought people just ran with whoever ran the best push.
No, no. I mean, even in like Overwatch League,
Yeah, I know Overwatch League is-
they go
Oh,
through another attack round. They will be given 1 minute no matter what
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the clock
Yeah,
to
I'm
work
aware of
with.
that, yeah. No, I just thought that some tournaments decided to go just for time banks, whoever had the best one.
I haven't seen
Just
anything
so I
like
am
that
wrong.
in a fairly long time. That used to be kind of the standard in Overwatch, but a lot of times that's how we do it in our scrims. But Anti-Aid's going to open things up for the side of Fight to Win. Gets the early pick on the OP Freeze. No Hanzo available for right now, but the res is about to come in from Scorpion Zero.
And we're gonna see that double sniper composition coming out from Ungentlemenv. That is so characteristic of this meta. Both DPSs usually being able to take people from afar, and that's exactly what Rhino will be doing here. But in fact, something that's a little less unusual is what you're seeing on your screen, the Lucio pick. Not as popular this meta, however, it's still able to do a great deal of healing, speed boosting, and damage, which is exactly what he has been doing, firing pot shots at the enemy tanks to just whittle them down and make it easier, soften them up.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the picks going in the direction of the Ungentlemen right now. Randall Thor falls. Tap X was the last one left on the cart. He too will be taken out of the mech and eliminated. And now it's just the Ungentlemen trying to press forward. They take down PKIV. That's a nice little stagger for them. Allows them to get some good movement on this cart, but ultimately no real damage being done there. But now a lot of ults on the verge of being available for the Ungentlemen as they try to kind of force Fight to Win to stay back behind these doors and take a lot of damage as they come in.
Yeah, and if you're looking at a time bank, around the time that Fight to Win got in this area, in this shuttle area, and where the cart currently is, it was about 2:30, and now we are at 4:50. Big time difference at this point. The dragons are coming through, gonna be dealing a lot of damage. However, the most deadly ultimate is one against TPX. Just with a self-destruct sequence, it's able to get 2 people. Great use of self-destruct. Wow.
Yeah, that was a really good placement of the self-destruct. Just left it up on top of those boxes, where it's able to deal damage to everyone on the high and the low grounds. Just makes it a very versatile placement for that ultimate. A really good job there by Tap X to make sure he got some value out of that ult. And now they have control of this hangar area of the map. Things start to become a lot more difficult for the Ungentlemen.
Yes, indeed. And they're gonna have to use those ultimates whenever they get them, which they don't. Meaning that their current option is farming them. You just need a couple of dry pushes to force ultimates from the side of Fight to Win, and then build your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good start.
Yeah, the Ungentlemen taking control of the high ground, pushing Fight to Win off of it, but forcing out the primal rage from Tail Yellow is gonna be a good start.
Exactly. Though there will need to be more to come out for them to be able to get a true push. Though the fight has reset, all 6 members are up, and it is, can we keep the other Widowmaker dead? Or get ours a great advantage? Another ultimate use. PKIV uses the Transcendence, and now somebody needs to go in. The beat does get used, meaning this is the sign to go aggressive. However, the well-played self-destruct sequence from Tapex just keeps everybody off despite the sound barrier being used. This self-destruct sequence too high up in the air, not able to get anybody. Dragon Blades gets popped, no Transcendence available to save the members of Ungentlemenv, but it is not necessary as Genji gets instantly focused down. Oh no, he was not. I was wrong. And it was necessary to kill him, but it did not happen.
Yeah, but the kill's still coming in for Ungentlemen right now. It's just TapX alive on the cart with PKIV about to come back in onto this one. But I don't think they're going to be able to get enough members on there to stall anything out. And now PKIV is going to get staggered here.
Oh, yeah.
And a little bit more of an opportunity now for the Ungentlemen to continue pressing their advantage forward towards the spawn doors.
Exactly, we can see him all grouped up around this door, disabling anybody from really walking out. And you're going to see both tanks taking odd positionings, ready to dive the backline whenever it comes out, really. D.Va is there to tell the position of the backline as it comes out, and Winston is ready to just sneak up on him and zap him.
And they're not ready for this at all, and they're going to dive in immediately, trying to get on PKIV, just not quite able to get the damage in just yet, but they've created a lot of chaos in this backline.
Exactly, and by the time they're starting to die, the rest of the team is coming through. This is a 4v6 in favor of Fight to Win, and it should be a small stagger for Ungentlemenv's push.
Yeah, absolutely. A good job there for the side of Fight to Win to keep everyone together. They focus down those tanks incredibly quickly, but it does give some free cart push to the Ungentlemen, who now realistically only need to win one team fight if they want to finish out Gibraltar.
Oh yeah, especially if they can jumble up on the door and prevent anybody from walking out of it. Can be hard and a bit luck reliant, but sometimes works out really great. Oh, and already Scooty gets the first kill this fight, and now goes for the second one. The mini Diva is getting completely focused down. Scooty looking for more, looking for blood. Still has a self-destruct sequence available whenever he does need it, but it does not look like it is the case. This is just going to be a zoning self-destruct sequence whenever it does come out, probably after this bubble gets blown up. And here it goes on top of the car. Everybody needs to hide, but a four-man self-destruct sequence is going to prevent anybody on the fight from Fight to Win to contest seriously due to the outnumberment.
Yeah, that was, you know, the kills all show up in the kill feed for Scooty there when he gets the 4K on the self-destruct, but the credit absolutely has to go to the remaining members of his team. And that's kind of the value of the composition that the Ungentlemen were running right there. They had the Brigitte, they had the Winston, and they had the Lucio, all of whom were able to force the members of Fight to Win out into the open. They weren't letting them use the cart as cover from that self-destruct. It just allows Scooty to pick up the 4K that was absolutely necessary in that moment to get a very decisive fight win. And they take the better time on Gibraltar, which for the purposes of our scrim is going to give them the first map win.
Exactly, and I'm looking forward to see what map we're gonna go into, as both oddly enough, this is very odd to me. I don't see this often, but both teams' least preferred maps are control.
Yeah,
Meaning,
this is not something you see a whole lot. Usually, usually it is the 2CP, the assault maps that people tend not to want to play. But for both of these teams, it turns out to be control, which, you know, I can't say I necessarily agree with, but, you know, it's good that there is a little bit of variety in that regard.
Exactly, and we're gonna get to see some great performances on map we're maybe not used to, or maybe just in its Scrim, see some maps we're not used to.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, it looks like we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer before we do make our way over to the control maps later in the series. For right now, it's going to be Hollywood is the direction that For the Win have decided to take us, headed to the hybrid map to move things forward. We'll see if on their map pick Fight to Win can bring something back, tie the series up, and show us a little bit more than they did on Gibraltar, especially on that defense. Their offense was not anything to kind of thumb your nose at. They came out and they pushed through the map pretty well for the most part, but the defense just looked a little bit scattered at times. They never quite were able to string together multiple fights in a row on the defense. So we'll see if they can change things up here on Hollywood.
And definitely they could, due to just the differences of the maps. And actually, wow, you know what? I had no idea where that was until you just showed that on stream. I genuinely thought it was a still image until I just realized that there was a poster of Lucio up high, top corner.
You learn new things every day about this game. I have never seen that before, but you know, I don't spend a whole lot of time exploring the topmost corners of every map, but you know, it's good little world building details like that make Overwatch the game that it is. But to get back into what we're going to be seeing for the rest of this match, right now, the Ungentlemen opted to go with that Reinhardt-Zarya combination. They want to be able to have all the DPS in the world to back up those two tanks and the kind of crowd control ultimates that they have. Whereas they're going up against the 303 composition for the side of Fight to Win. Those triple tanks, triple support, just want to get in onto the point and brawl as soon as possible. That's what they're doing.
Oh yeah, the Slambulance coming in, looking to just deal damage and heal their own that they're receiving. And it's exactly what we're seeing with Brigitte being both a healer and a tank and a damage dealer at this point. What can you want more out of the Slambulance except Brigitte? She's the definition of that composition.
Yeah, exactly. She enables so much about that kind of play style. And then when you've got the Lucio being played by Oreo Toast, there's really no way for the Ungentlemen to respond to that. Just the opposing tanks are going to be right up in their face immediately. And unless your Hanzo and Junkrat are kind of popping off and getting a lot of picks, you're going to have a hard time dealing with this composition, and now they've gotten a very quick first point take and are trying to make their way forward, but the Ungentlemen drop a great Earthshatter to push them back.
Exactly, Bullywug doing the business that needs to happen for Ungentlemen with the Earthshatter, able to deal a lot of damage to TPX's Zarya, forcing people off, but OP Freeze ultimately will be the one who will confirm these kills with his very wide swinging flail. We need to remember, however, that there is a Hanzo, Randall Tor on the side of Fight to Win, and a Graviton Surge on the side of Fight to Win with TPX that are coming through. Though that Graviton Strike combo can be devastating.
Absolutely, and that's kind of the thing that they're setting themselves up for now as they switch over to this double sniper composition. They want Randall Thor and Anti-Age to be getting a lot of picks, but it's going to be Rhino coming through with the triple kill from the barrage, set up beautifully by Scooty with the Graviton Surge. That was perfectly executed by the Ungentlemen.
Yeah, definitely. You know, those Graviton Surge combos just so efficient. And that's exactly what we saw. And we're about to see another one, in fact. I doubt that TPX's Graviton Surge will be used for anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be Randall Thor trying to get the combo there, but Banana Bolts and Scorpion Zero have the ults to try to keep their team alive.
Oh, the Transcendence will be enough, however, to keep a lot of the members on Ungentlemen alive long enough to survive the combo and even clean up the rest of the team on the side of Fight to Win.
Yeah, that's the thing about the combo right now. It's a very, very powerful way to secure a team fight win. But when the Transcendence is available, you have to have a little bit more damage on the side of Fight to Win if you want to be able to clean up all the members who are caught up in that. The Dragon Strike on its own is just not quite enough to close that out. And you saw that there. They didn't have anyone else in there dealing damage, and it allowed the members of the Ungentlemen to stay alive.
Now all it came down to the Earthshatter, not only disabling Mercy from damage boosting Hanzo, but also stopping the Moira Coalescence that were also dealing damage. That extra damage that could have enabled just to go over the damage threshold that Transcendence can heal.
Yeah, absolutely. And now the time bank is starting to whittle down for Fight to Win. They got an incredibly quick first point take, but now they're already down to about 3 minutes left on the clock. But PKV getting the early pick onto OP Freeze will give them the opportunity to be a little bit aggressive.
Oh, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Already Anti-Aids able to get a pick onto the opposite Pharah, showing his own aerial supremacy in his own way. And he's going to be a big part of why this fight is going in the favor of Fight to Win.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, now they've got some momentum on their sides. They're building up to a few ultimates, the Pulse Bomb as well as the Transcendence and Self-Destruct are about to be online, but so much available for the Ungentlemen. They need to be able to come back in and win this fight decisively. They've got the Graviton Surge and the Barrage. Once again, that combo working so well for them last time.
Now, despite the Pulse Bomb hitting right there, just a well-placed bubble from Scooty enables to charge himself up instead of damage him, but TPX able to once again get a double kill. This is an absolutely insane madman. Nobody has been getting that many picks on the D.Va Self-Destructs in the past 10 games that I've seen, even more.
Yeah, absolutely. And that self-destruct is such a great way to deal with that Far Mercy combo from Rhino and Scorpion Zero. It's very easy on the Pharah to get yourself into a position where you don't have any cover to hide behind if you're up in the sky. And that's exactly what we saw there. And it allows Fight to Win to continue to press their advantage. They aren't moving the cart right now. They need to get back there, but they have gotten pretty much a full team wipe onto the Ungentlemen. They're going to get a lot of free push.
Man, we need just to highlight some of these players that have been doing a lot of, just work, but they've only been able to do it because of their team that has been working with them and enabling them in order to do the great plays that we've seen them do. If there wasn't pressure for TPX to throw a great self-destruct sequence that goes unnoticed, it wouldn't have happened. However, something that did not go unnoticed is that rocket barrage coming out from Anti-AIDS, who got him killed as soon as he popped it. Rhino, however, will be able to stay alive, but not deal that much damage as his Transcendence keeps most of the people alive. Scooty on this area, however, is now starting to focus these Pharahs, especially Anti-Ace as he is on the enemy team. But he's also bubbling his own from time to time when he can to avoid her being dead.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Ungentlemen, they're just able to slowly kind of grind out that fight. The members of Fight to Win got a little bit separated as the Pharah kind of needed to make her way out towards the final checkpoint if she was going to have space to fly around. And it just left the rest of the members of Fight to Win separated from that DPS, and they were just slowly able to focus down enough members to turn that fight in their favor. And now some very interesting compositional switches coming out from Fight to Win. Specifically, Randolph Thor on the Doomfist is going to be trying to punch everyone into submission.
However, it does not go very well for him. Does open up the gate as he's able to push out Brigade Tapex, sorry. He's able to find another pick with the self-destruct sequence. Absolutely insane, Madman. However, the Doomfist pressure is enabling this McCree. Anti-AIDS is almost free to shoot everybody as everybody's busy focusing this Doomfist. As you see, as soon as he goes in, it's like, oh no! Kill him! Kill him! Meanwhile, in the back, Anti-AIDS is just free to charge up his High Noon. And he does get Rhino as he tries to come out of spawn. Though it will not be enough to push this card. They will need to regroup.
Yeah, the early pick on the tail yellow there was the key thing for the Ungentlemen to keep that fight winnable for them. They needed to be able to take out that main tank, and with that gone, there was just no protection for Fight to Win. The only real opportunity they had to win that fight was a huge Deadeye or Randolph Thor just going off on the Doomfist, and he wasn't able to do that. So now they've got to regroup for one last push here. They've got some ultimates in the bank, both support ults, as well as the Earth Shatter is going to be available very shortly for Tail Yellow. But the Ungentlemen have a lot to work with as well, as especially Scooty needs to get up to this Graviton Surge.
And as you say, he does need to. It's about to be up. Only 7% left to go. And that Graviton Surge will finally come true, though the lack of follow-up is very apparent. Only regular firing is going to be up to Bullywug to just get a great Earth Shatter, followed up by a High Noon from Rhino. You know what? Extra self-destruct sequence coming through just for good measure. And this should be it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was just a little bit too much to work with there for the Ungentlemen. They had a lot in the bank there, and even though the Graviton Surge wasn't exactly coming through with a lot of immediate kills, it just meant that the Ungentlemen knew exactly where all the members of Fight to Win were located. While the Graviton Surge was going down, they're able to focus down some other members as well, and then just clean up on the cart by making sure that their full six was, pretty much staying together the entire fight, and it gives them a good opportunity to come back in. And now they've given themselves a great opportunity to take the second map here. As Hollywood is one where that's not exactly the shortest push that you'll ever see, but it is very, very finishable on the offense. So I think the Ungentlemen have to be feeling pretty confident moving forward onto the second stage of Hollywood.
Well, I mean, Hollywood, the map, we've been playing on right now. It enables a lot of kooky picks, and I am glad to say that we're seeing one right now. The Ana on this side of Fight to Win. One of my favorite picks to play onto Hollywood. Just so much space to work with, so many safe positionings for Ana where it's really hard to dive her safely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially given the way that the meta is kind of currently working, this first point has been heavily in the favor of kind of these Reinhardt Zarya compositions. We're seeing that out of most teams right now, and that just means that without those kind of dive tanks of the Winston and Diva, you don't really have any effective way to get back onto her. It's really only going to be Rhino who has the opportunity to get up in PKIV's face. But even that is kind of a difficult task to do on your own. So I do really like this pick as Ana can really dish out the healing when she's in a safe position like that.
However, there will be no defensive ultimate to save you from that Graviton Surge Dragon Strike. And that could be eventually an issue. Oh my god, Bullywood gets absolutely shredded and he tries to charge his Earthshatter by swinging his hammer.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I think what you said was pretty much spot on right there. For the Ungentlemen, the end game of this first point is to just build up to that combination, because if you can hit 3 members in a Graviton Surge, there's going to be absolutely no way for Fight to Win to survive that. But now they've got the opening pick onto PKIV. Tail Yellow falls as well. They're not even going to need that combo, I don't think.
Oh my, and that would have been a great thing for Fight to Win, due to the fact that if the ults aren't used now, they're definitely going to be used on the second phase to win a free team fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And now this is starting to look a little bit dicey for Fight to Win. That's exactly what they needed to avoid on the first point. They can't really afford to be giving the Ungentlemen a lot of time to work with, and that's exactly what they've got right now. But some swaps coming in for the side of Fight to Win. Randolph Thor once again over onto that Pharah. He definitely made that work on the second point here last time when he was on the offense. Gonna try to use it for the defense. We'll see if that prompts a swap from Rhino maybe over to the Widowmaker once again.
And yeah, Widowmaker is also very powerful on this side due to the very big open sight lines. However, once you're up in the high ground, however, that does make you vulnerable to being targeted by a dive. Oh, Dragon Strike with the Graviton Surge gonna enable 3 kills, which you said earlier was enough, and you're absolutely right. There is nothing that can be done to salvage this team fight.
Yeah, and you saw Tell Yellow try to go for the counter Earth Shatter. Was able to knock down a couple members, but doesn't get the most important one at that point. You needed to hit OP Freeze down to the ground if you were going to have any chance of bringing that one back, and it just doesn't quite happen. So now the Ungentlemen, one last team fight away from claiming the second checkpoint. They're already pushed up towards this front door, putting some pressure on Tail Yellow as he tries to make his way out onto the cart. And they get it!
How unfortunate!
Yeah, Fight to Win just not quite getting out onto the cart in time to stall things out. And it makes for a very easy second checkpoint for the Ungentlemen. Now they've got over 5 minutes left in the bank to push this just a little bit further.
Oh yeah, and I mean, you're absolutely right. They don't even need to push all the way to the end. And the worst part is, ultimates were used to contest that second point, and they were not able to touch. A classic C9, as you would say.
Yeah, and things are getting very, very tricky for Fight to Win. They pretty much need to win pretty much every team fight from here on out, but they've already lost Tail Yellow once again, and that's the last person they needed to go down.
Definitely, especially with Randolph Thor going down while he was trying to flank OP Freeze. It did not go well, as you know, Rhino just came through with this shield stun, able to disable Genji for a while and just kill him. Another Dragon Strike coming through as that ultimate charge is really fast. And the great Earth Shatter coming up from Tail Yellow. Maybe it is what is needed to contest this village just a little bit longer, to trickle in just a bit more. But with 4 minutes left on the clock, this is not a hold.
Yeah, Scorpion Zero just up above that Earth Shatter, able to heal up Bullywug with the Valkyrie, and there was just with all the healing that was there available. Fight to Win just not able to secure any kills in that last team fight, and that was a really impressive and ultimately very dominating win for the Ungentlemen.
Oh, with the last edge headshot on anti-AIDS, is doing a lot of work on that Zenyatta Banana Bolt, showing that he can do great things despite being on a support. And in fact, that's why so many people play Zenyatta, being able to bring the heals and the damage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that is why Zenyatta has always been one of my favorite characters, and it's definitely. I mean, I consider myself a flex player when I'm in comp, but Zenyatta has always got a special place in my heart. Has the most playtime for me over the years of playing Overwatch, and that is exactly why, because you have such an ability to make an impact. I think if you've been paying attention to kind of the Overwatch League as well as kind of contenders as well, Zenyatta has consistently been one of the most impactful positions in the game. You've got players like Jonak who are able to come in and be a true superstar by getting a lot of picks with that hero and basically making it another DPS.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I don't know who that J. Jonak guy is. Clearly not one of the most known players of the Overwatch League for his carry potential and how he almost single-handedly carries his team. No, I'm joking. Not single-handedly, but he does do quite a lot of work for his team. In fact, he probably will be one of the most salaried player coming into the second season where he will renegotiate his salary, considering the impact he has.
Yeah, I'm absolutely certain that there will be a heck of a bidding war for his services going into the second season. But if you're him, you've got to be feeling pretty good about the setup you've got with NYXL right now. They're sitting pretty headed into the season playoffs in a few weeks. But enough about the Overwatch League. We've got some Overwatch of our own right now as we head over to Hanamura for our third map this evening. Another very kind of classic Overwatch map where, especially on this first point, I think you see a point that is very favorable to the way that the current meta seems to be shaking out.
Oh, yeah.
The Brigitte has been a super popular pick on this map for both the offense and the defense. This has kind of been the map where I think she has excelled the most at times, and there's definitely a good reason for it with the way the first choke point is set up. It makes it very easy for her to hit all of her crowd control combinations and just really make her impact felt.
Also, just overall the fact that there is a choke that you kind of need to go through, meaning that Reinhardt is very good and Brigitte is really good at just supporting Reinhardt with the assistance of Zarya. That also makes her a great pick. But you are right, even if that was not the case, Brigitte would be a good pick here.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm surprised that Fight to Win aren't going for kind of the Slamulence comp that we saw on Hollywood. They had a lot of success with it, playing it on the first point, but they are going to be able to make this work for them so far. Bullywug going down, but somehow getting rezzed up by Scorpion Zero.
Exactly. Oreotos' great positioning enables him to get a res. Not Oreotos, Scorpion Zero. What a mistake from the commentators. Please report me after this game. So somebody you will not want to report is Randall Tor, especially if you are on the side of Fight to Win. That man already has his rally, keeping everybody armored up and healing as he swings his flail. And it's, you know what, Scooty now, about to have the Graviton Surge, could salvage this defense, especially if he is able to group everybody up. And here it goes, 3-man on around the big blue orb, all grouped up. No kills confirmed yet, though that was a great amount of damage, and it's gonna basically scare Fight to Win off the point.
Yeah, absolutely. The members of the Ungentlemenv just able to reinforce onto this point. Their support trio there just did a fantastic job of making sure that they all stayed alive, even through that initial engagement, so that when Fight to Win came back onto the point with the rally, they were all grouped up. Scooty had all the support in the world to start building up charge, laying in the damage. They just hold out long enough for Bullywug to come back in, and now they've got a lot of ultimates to work with. The Earthshatter coming in, the great combination with the Brigitte is going to allow them to clean up this fight pretty easily.
Exactly. You know what? Just too aggressive right there, Tail Yellow. Swinging his hammer left and right, did not think of playing around Bullywug's Earthshatter. And in fact, he almost has it once again, almost being 45%, which is impressive considering the fight lasted about 3 seconds after the Earth Shatter being used.
Yeah, I mean, he's already caught back up to Tail Yellow right now. They are on even footing as far as the Earth Shatter goes. But the big thing to watch out for is going to be if Tap X can get up to this Graviton Surge in the next team fight. If he's able to stay alive long enough to get in the damage, that could be the closer that they need. But Tail Yellow getting the early Earth Shatter might give them the opportunity to push forward.
It probably will, considering there only is 1 tick left to capture, and that Earth Shatter led into 2 picks right off the get-go. And exactly, the first point is capped, 5 minutes 14 left on the time bank to capture now the second point, which is easier said than done.
Yeah, a really, kind of small thing there, but Banana Bolts manages to get a couple of kills as he is getting staggered, which means that Fight to Win are not going to be able to push in immediately onto this point. When you lose the first checkpoint like that and still have some members there around in the fight, it can be very dangerous. But his kills allow them to regroup fully before Fight to Win make their way to the point through this low ground. They are going to get caught up in the Graviton Surge, though.
Oh, and that Pulse Bomb coming out from Rhino will not kill everybody because of the nerf that happened to it. However, it is enough to get Oreo Toast and the ensuing damage from the Graviton Surge, and the rest of the team focusing the members just confirm that this is a team wipe.
Yeah, that was great positioning from the Ungentlemenv there with Scooty still up on the high ground after he dropped that Graviton Surge. Landed pretty much all the members of Fight to Win up in there, and it just made sure that there was nowhere Tail Yellow could look to fully block the damage coming in from Ungentlemenv, and the Pulse Bomb was just the cherry on top to get the cleanup they needed.
Though there needs to be something else coming true for in this push for something to happen on the Fight to Win. And here it goes. The Graviton Surge gets used. The Dragons come true. Though Rhino's able to pick out Anti-8, and he will not be there to provide more damage as the fight goes on. Meanwhile, Rhino is now able to pressure the Zenyatta player, making him unable to focus anybody else. The ticking has started, however, and the first tick has happened. Now looking for a second and a third. However, the Ungentlemenv will start contesting the point with the Rally and the Valkyrie, meaning that this is basically a signal to retreat on the Fight to Win, unless anything can happen that is significant, such as maybe OP Freeze being picked. Still Yellow, however, will be taking no bite of charge from Bullywug, and then Transcendence coming through will heal all that damage up.
Yeah, just not enough picks right now going in the favor of the Ungentlemenv, though. It's just OP Freeze left on the point. He gets taken down, and now the progress starts to build for Fight to Win. The Earth Shatter now coming in, takes down Scorpion Zero before the Transcendence can come in from Banana Bolts, and now things are starting to get desperate for the Ungentlemenv.
Though they are able to stagger on the point of contest, this Tracer, no! Did not expect that 2 members would go down that fast. Bullywug and OP Freeze is getting melted down.
Yeah, and that was a textbook way to open up this point for the side of Fight to Win. They used that narrow choke point up in the high ground entrance, lay in a Graviton Surge to get the opening picks that they needed to move on to the point, and then just kept together as a unit. The support's doing a fantastic job of keeping everyone alive, and that's the immense value that you can get out of these triple support combinations. When you've got the Brigitte as well as 2 other supports, there's just so much healing coming in that it becomes very, very difficult for a defensive team to bring things back once they've gotten onto the back foot, once they've lost several members. At that point, it's just kind of a waiting game of when the staggers will finally end and the progress can be made.
Yeah, and that is, you're right. That is a fairly well executed push, as you described it. The one thing I want to see, now that we've talked about what happened, is what's gonna happen next, right? Ungentlemenv have the opportunity to capture this point as well, and also have a lot of time on the time bank. However, they need to do a very aggressive push, and that's exactly what so far they look like they want to do with the Slambulance triple support, triple tank composition. I mean, locked in, but could always be changed.
Yeah, but a mirror matchup coming out, Fight to Win opting to go for that very same composition. And if you look at the positioning that they've got right now, they are all grouped up waiting for the members of the Ungentlemen to make their way out. They want to take a very early fight and catch the Ungentlemen off guard. We'll see if they're able to make something happen or if the Ungentlemen just kind of pass them by.
Oh, they most likely will be noticed as they are coming out from blood as soon as this happens. However, they will need to hurry to the point as Ungentlemen chose to fight on the point despite losing a couple of members. This will secure them a tick onto the point, and if they're able to keep everybody out, which they are not able to, it would have meant maybe more. And now Fight to Win are coming in, contesting, staying on the point and saying, hey, no, you know what? You are about to be staggered.
Yeah, and I mean, the Fight to Win are going to be fairly happy with that. You know, they do give up one tick to the Ungentlemen, but they're easily able to secure the team fight win. And now, for some reason, Ungentlemen are still kind of staggering themselves out. Volleywog came back in, tried to rejoin the fight, but it was already way too late. The Ungentlemen were completely wiped off that point, and they come away with just one tick, but already a minute gone from their time bank. They don't get a ton out of that, and the ult charge right now is kind of firmly in their favor, though, so that's something to look out for, especially as Scooty has the early lead on the Graviton Surge charge.
Exactly, Earthshatter coming through, though. Rendell Torres, we send now onto the Tracer, no longer on the Brigida or any other support of the sorts. It is now a regular to double support composition, and in fact, he will be holding onto his pulse bomb, not using it yet, but he will need to come out big if he hopes holding onto this point.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to do much with that unless he comes up with the best pulse bomb in the history of pulse bombs. But he will retreat, regroup with his team. But now the rally coming in from OP Freeze, they're going to have the sound barrier as well. There is a little bit of an opportunity for a quick snowball coming out from the Ungentlemen, but they've got to survive this Graviton Surge.
Exactly, in the group, everybody up, did not get anyone taken out. However, that's going to be up to ShyGuyOW's Earthshatter to get people down and killed. Scooty, very charged up, had his Graviton shield, but barely dropped it as soon as he got it, due to the fact that it was just a very good wipe from Fight to Win.
Yeah, and I like the decision to hold off on that, not drop it immediately, because there were already members of the Ungentlemen who had gone down in that fight. They weren't going to be able to realistically bring that back. So now they still have the Graviton Surge as well as the Earth Shatter and the Self-Destruct going into this next fight. The Coalescence will be online very, very shortly for Scorpion Zero. So they've got a lot to work with as they make their way up onto this high ground, and they've split off the tanks of Fight to Win from the rest of the team.
Now the self-destruct sequence barely gets stuck onto the wall, not able to go behind the people who are in the self-destruct, in the Graviton Surge. And those ultimates will be ultimately wasted, basically, unless something can happen here. Oh no, sorry, I mixed up the teams when I was looking. Yeah, able to get a lot of kills, not with those ultimates, but just with the follow-up damage. And now it's gonna force a recontest on the side of Fight to Win. Earthshatter is able to get many people down, though there is still hope, as people are still up and running on the side of Ungentlemen. They are whittled down to a small number, but they're able to heal each other off. No longer will they be able to do that reliably, as Zenyatta's the only healer left. Without his ultimate, he cannot heal a great amount, and that is Fight to Win, once again giving up a tick, but able to keep the fight on their favor.
Yeah, and that one is pretty much all on the back of ShyGuyOW, and that huge Earth Shatter comes in. They're able to secure 2 immediate picks off the back of that. And that's exactly what you have to do as a defense when you are on the back foot like that. When you are about to be down and out, you need something to turn around the fight and get a couple of picks going your way if you want to be able to slowly kind of bring it back. And that's exactly what they do. But now the Graviton Surge is going to be the way that Fight to Win engage on this next fight.
Yes and no. Both Graviton Surge so far have been kind of uneventful due to the lack of kill confirms that come with them. Nothing that really says, hey, if you're in Graviton Surge, you die.
Yeah, but
these compositions.
Yeah, but they are able to get enough kills off the back of that. It's only 2, but it does force the Ungentlemen to back off from this
Fair.
point. Try to regroup, and they haven't had a whole lot of success with those low ground pushes, neither team really. So they too are going to opt to go up to the high ground, and a big Earthshatter from Bullywug to start things off.
Oh, and those are some big ultimates, though. However, we're going for Ungentlemen like this time. The self-destruct sequence from Rhino able to find 2 kills, and it's clean up city. The janitors went from gentlemen's to they are not gentlemen's. They are in fact janitors. They could change their name to that as they just clean up now. That's all they need to do. A Zarya, a Reinhardt, the only thing standing in their way to capture the point with 2 minutes 29. A very similar time to fight for fight to wins.
Yeah, we have a very, very close matchup here. We'll see if these teams opt to go for a second push. And no, we are not going to get the opportunity. But their fight to win come out with a slightly better time. So they bring it back. They show a little bit of fight there on Hanamura that we didn't see out of them on Hollywood. So they give themselves their first win of the evening for our scrims tonight. And now they have the opportunity to tie things up as we head into our 4th map.
Exactly, and one thing to note as we go into our 4th map is the fact that the teams will be changing colors. Fight to win will be now on the blue, and Ungentlemen on the red.
Yeah, absolutely. Just these teams, now we are finally going to get the opportunity to see what these 2 teams dread. They both told us that Control was not the type of map that they enjoyed playing, and that's exactly where we're headed with Lijiang Tower. And to start things off, we are going to be headed to Night Market.
To be fair, Fight to Win precisely said Oasis, but they also said Control at the same time, meaning that any Control map is not their favorite. Though,
go ahead.
They have been pulling off a great dive. I'm remembering maybe Watchpoint Gibraltar. Despite the fact that they lost the map, they look convincing on the first point.
Yeah, they really did. So, I mean, I think that is something that you could see come out specifically on this point or on the garden stage. The dive compositions are still viable there, I think, to an extent. Though I do think most teams are kind of opting to stick with the Reinhardt Zarya now that it has kind of made its way back into the meta. But the big thing for me to watch out for on this map is going to be what Randolph Thor is capable of doing on this Pharah. He had a lot of success with that hero earlier, and as of right now, there is nothing to really counter him out on the side of the Ungentlemen, but it is going to be Rhino actually going for that head-to-head matchup, so these two going to be battling for supremacy up in the air.
Exactly, and I was gonna say, oh, maybe a Tracer or a Genji pick, despite those not being popular, but you know what? Pharah makes total sense here. This Lijiang Tower, especially Market, is just so good for that pick. As you see both of them flying into the air, firing rockets at each other. It's the air shot battle, and one is landed on the side of Randall Tor, both of them being hit. No one able to find the confirmed picks. However, Ungentlemen are the one who are taking control of the point and forcing Fight to Win back.
Yeah, and Anti-Age just got a little bit too aggressive on the Brigitte there and got punished for it. A good job by the Ungentlemen. Rhino focusing down onto the Brigitte with the Pharah. That's a great counter pick against the newest hero. She has no way to really deal with that if you can get around behind her. Now Anti-Age is going to be the one to open things up.
Scooty, despite all the stuns being put on him by Anti-Age, able to stay alive for a long time, will almost have its Graviton Surge for the next fight, though Fight to Win are turning it back.
Yeah, Fight to Win are going to start building up some percentage of their own. I would have liked to see Randolph Thor hold on to that Rocket Barrage and maybe save it for Tap X when he can build up to that Graviton Surge of his own. But going into this next fight, the Fight to Win are going to have both support ultimates and an early Earth Shatter coming out from Tail Yellow.
And then counter Earth Shatter coming out from Bullywug this time. Not able to get much, only one member down. Though the Transcendence will keep everybody alive. Once again, the Graviton Surge will be what is basically the determining factor, the tide that changes everything. And you know what? It's exactly what Scody is able to bring. Despite going down the last fight, he was able to charge up his ultimate very quickly.
Yeah, now just a little bit more of a stagger for ShyGuyOW, who gets onto the point. Builds up a couple extra percentage for fight to win. These two teams just battling back and forth. No one able to hang on to this point for very long, at least right now. And I think that trend might kind of continue as the Graviton Surge Barrage combo is available. Tap X and Randall Thor going to be able to link up for that combination. But we'll see if the Ungentlemen have a good answer for that right now.
Oh, and that might be the beautiful Graviton Surge Rocket Barrage combo. You know what? Rhino tried to counter with his own. However, he did not have that ultimate that groups everybody up to enable him to just focus everybody at the same time.
Yeah, and Randall Thor getting a 5k on that out of that ult. The only member of the Ungentlemen who survives that one is going to be Banana Bolt, who, luckily for him, does keep a lot of that armor. And although another rally coming in from OP Freeze is going to give them a way to engage on this fight, but Randall Thor getting the early pick onto Rhino bring this fight and make it very difficult for the Ungentlemen.
And you know what? ShyGuyOW using the Earth Shatter right there just to confirm that the fight is going to go on to the figure of fight to win. And that is honestly the first fight that held the point for the defending team.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's absolutely huge for fight to win, as they're now going to be able to build up to, you know, unless this fight goes very quickly, they're going to get up to 99% at the very least, even if they lose it. So they'll have a very good opportunity moving forward. That Earth Shatter gets absolutely nothing coming out from Bullywug, and now the Graviton Surge not going to get anything either with PKIV with the Clutch Transcendence.
And you know what? I thought that would have been a very scary situation for Randall Thor to ult. However, he was bubbled by Tapex, and then it didn't even become an issue. Only a couple of people who can stagger onto the point, though this is a confirmed first round for fight to win.
It's just Rhino here now. He will get taken out very shortly. No one else going to be able to make it to the point. And fight to win are slowly but surely bringing this match back. They went down 2-0 early, but now they are one stage of Lijiang Tower away from tying things up and bringing us to a map 5.
They are creeping up. They're creeping up, and that's what I like to see. They're scaring Ungentlemen. Well, I mean, considering this is a scrim, Ungentlemen is probably not scared, though if this was a tournament, they would be scaring Ungentlemen.
They would be shaking in their boots right now, knowing that they are on the verge of the reverse sweep in sight now for fight to win. As we now make our way over to Control Center, we're gonna see a little bit more of the same this time. Although the Ungentlemen coming out with some very interesting picks. They've got the Junkrat, which is a staple here on Control Center, but Rhino once again going over to the Doomfist. He brought it out a little bit earlier in the night to not a whole lot of success, but we'll see if he can do anything with these close quarters.
I mean, it can be good as long as he doesn't get tamed by Brigida, who has a very good skill set to do that. In fact, her abilities are very good at just taming divers, and that's exactly what Doomfist hates. Banana Bolts will be the first one to take down the Oreo Toast, the first blood of this map. And you know what? Oh, he will also be able to take down Randall Thor with a well-placed orb to the face.
Yeah, and you know, now this starts to get a little bit difficult for the Ungentlemen. They have to work their way back into it through these narrow choke points, and that's where the Doomfist can get yeah, absolutely. Sorry, the fight to win have to work their way through this choke point. They've got to deal with the Doomfist, and now the Riptire coming out from OP Freeze is going to try to get some picks in the backline, gets taken down by Randall Thor.
Exactly, got a bit too greedy, did not choose to go just for the Reinhardt. Could have tried to go for more, which is very reasonable. On top of that, the ultimate charges up so fast, it's not like it really matters if you miss it or no.
Yeah, I do like the swap up from Randall Thor. The Pharah wasn't quite going to be able to work against this composition. There was just no opportunity to get a lot of damage in. But PKIV gets the early picks, drops the Transcendence to allow his team to push forward aggressively, and they're going to do so.
Oh man, it was not the reason PKIV was hiding in the corner but got found out. He was forced to use the Transcendence in order to not stagger his team. Maybe a misplay considering that the Transcendence could have been used right there to disable Scooty's Graviton Surge. A mistake that ended up being paid at the high price for PKIV and his team.
Yeah, and he didn't actually need to drop that Transcendence because he got the kill onto Rhino, who was the one who found him out. A little bit of a panic there from the support for Fight to Win, and now OP Fees with another Riptire gonna try to get an opening pick and make it very difficult for Fight to Win to make their way back onto the cart. It's gonna be impossible without a Reinhardt or a Brigitte.
I mean, impossible is a big word. However, yeah, no, very unlikely to say the least, especially if nobody touches the point. And it's gonna be 1-1. Ungentlemenv saying, hey, we might want to close this if this was a first to 3. So let's close it.
Yeah, they are not done here on Lijiang Tower just yet. A pretty convincing first point went in the way of Fight to Win, but the Ungentlemenv answer back with a haymaker of their own. Come in and take control center in dominating fashion there. They knew exactly how they wanted to play that with the Doomfist and the Junkrat, and the Fight to Win just didn't seem to have an answer for that DPS combo. Rhino was getting a lot of work done, and he's going to be able to see if he can do it once again, this time on the Widowmaker. Both teams going for a dive composition this time. Getting away from that Reinhardt with a little bit more of an open point.
Now, I've seen one great thing happen in this map once, and it was a Doomfist killing a Pharah that was about as high as Randall Tor right now. That, you know what? It's going to be up to Rhino to pick out. Now, imagine a Doomfist getting that pick, but you know what? The first sniper to get something, it will actually be Anti-AIDS, who's not only getting Scorpion Zero out of the fight, but also Bullywug and Banana Bolt. He's going completely insane, looking for the next head after hitting his first one and his second. Now looking for one more onto Rhino, looking to complete that kill. However, you know what? PKIV is the one who's going to be saying, you know what? It's fine.
Yeah, and Anti-Age just putting his stamp on that first fight almost up to the Empress site, whereas Rhino is only at just over 20%. That shows you exactly how effective Anti-Age has been, and you're gonna see him have the advantage, but Rhino able to somehow, despite the Empress site, Rhino heard me talking shit, so he just gets on and wins that Widow battle. Anti-Age's gonna get res back up by Oreo Toast there, so we've got another chance.
And I mean, that's just Caster Skurs. If we've heard one after popping off Anti-Aids, just gets shut down twice. 2 bullets to the face. One was very bullet-like. The other one was an orb. It was PKIV and his, it was PKIV's counterpart, Banana Balls, that took out Anti-Aid. And now, you know what? The point is still not captured on the side of Ungentlemenv. This time, Fight to Win are really keeping a close grip onto the point, especially with Tail Yellow able to use that Primal Rage to just stay alive. 1,000 extra HP.
Yeah, and they've managed to turn this fight back around. They should not have been able to do that. The fight was firmly in the favor of the Ungentlemenv there for a while. They had gotten most of the early picks, and they should have had a great opportunity to make their way onto the point, but the tank line of Tail Yellow and Tap X just come back in aggressively, are able to shut down the push from the Ungentlemenv, but now the early pick from Banana Bolts and Rhino is going to give them a good opportunity to retake this point, but it's almost to 99%.
Exactly, 93, 94, but it is not over yet. I'm always going to say Randall Tor is still there contesting. It is going to be a 99%, meaning that from now on, Ungentlemenv will have to capture all the way to 100%, and if they lose the point, they will need to touch it immediately in order to not lose the game.
Yeah, this is coming down to the wire for the Ungentlemenv. They've got to hold on as long as possible here till the end of the map if they want to be able to take Lijiang. But now the ultimates are up there for both teams with the... but Banana Balls goes down before he can use his Transcendence.
And you know what? Randall Tor uses the Rocket Barrage, gets mostly mitigated by Scooty's defense matrix, and it's going to be up to other people to deal the damages, but Rhino does just enough damage to the DPS coming out from Fight to Win to prevent any real push, and that's why everybody's jumping him, keeping him out of the fight. He was too much of a threat, and this time the point is recaptured by Fight to Win, and they're looking to go for the kill, the end of this map, and win Lijiang Tower. They're doing this very well. Randall able to boop out one support and kill the other, winning rocket straight to the face. PKIV will be the one who will be killing this Winston that was so contesting, and you know what? Just the beautiful primal rage from Tail Yellow to push everybody out of the point and confirm the capture.
Yeah, absolutely. The Ungentlemen absolutely needed Rhino to stay alive in that last fight. He was positioned a little bit too aggressively, and it allowed the dive to come in from the side of Fight to Win. They're able to take down the threat of the Widowmaker, which just gives Randolph Thor all the room in the world to work with, and he is able to put the pressure onto the supports from the Ungentlemen, take them out of that fight completely, and they just roll through as they take Lijiang Tower, tie our series up to at 2-2, and now we will get one final map for a tiebreaker.
Exactly, which, if I am correct, should be a full escort map.
You know,
I could be wrong.
I can never tell with the Scrim-Nights sometimes. A lot of times that's the way we go for the tiebreaker, as you know, those escort maps ensure that there's no way for us to wind up with a tie. But
yeah,
we'll see what these teams opt to.
Something.
What is that?
Something. We are not running through regular Scrim-Night procedures, as in there is the very strict Scrim-Night procedure where it is, I don't know, I think it's, isn't it like 2CP hybrid something hybrid control?
Yeah,
that's the structure. But anyways, we'll be going on to Junkertown actually. So turns out to be right, not because I made a great prediction, just by luck.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. That is true when playing Overwatch, and that can definitely be true when casting Overwatch as well.
Exactly, and in fact, I was gonna say, in fact, I was lucky, but I would be unlucky if I was in one of those teams, since I hate Junkertown. As a player, as a commentator, I get to see great top cheese.
Yeah, exactly. This is always a fun map for me, just because the style of play on Junkertown, I think, is so incredibly different from nearly every map in the game. So I enjoy it for variety's sake, even if it isn't always, you know, my favorite map to see come up in my comp games. But I always love to see a good pirate ship if it can come out. And this is the one map where I think that is still incredibly viable in terms of competitive Overwatch.
Yeah, and probably one of the reasons why I hate it. I'm so bad against pirate ship, and I'm so bad at pulling it off myself. Unless I have somebody dictating me, telling me what to do when we run pirate ship, I feel like I'm just a nuisance. But yeah. I have the feeling that Rhino and Ungentlemen have a better idea of how to run it.
Yeah, they seem to be leaning in that direction right now, and it's going to be up to the double snipers of Fight to Win to be able to shut that one down. I think the halt hook combo is definitely going to be the key for them. If they can get the Bastion off of the cart with the Roadhog hook, they have a good chance of taking him out. But if he can just stay there moored on the cart and not able to get him off, then it's going to be very difficult for Fight to Win to deal with.
By the way, double sniper compositions coming up from Fight to Win, meaning that picks could be happening across the map at any point, and we should watch out for that. And exactly, Hanzo, just a so good character to deal with this pirate ship due to his Storm Arrow being able to melt shields, tanks, Bastion, and everybody else.
Yeah, and now this fight definitely going in the way of Fight to Win, and that's exactly what you need out of a first defense when the Bastion is being run. They're getting a little bit of cleanup from Randall Thor now. The sniper's able to do work on the retreating members who are just able to make it back to safety, but now things get very difficult for the Ungentlemen if you want to get this Bastion set back up on the cart. And nope, Rhino has given up. He's going to opt for the Widowmaker battle. Both teams going to go with the double snipers. He's going to get the early pick onto Randolph Thor, but the res coming in from Oreo Toast will bring it back to a 6v6.
Unlike my competitive gameplay teammates, when Rhino switches to Widowmaker, it's not to troll his teammates, it's to do something about it. And that's exactly what he did. Picked off Randall Thor instantly, showing that he can pull off something great, and he will if he's given the proper opportunity.
Yeah, but now the defense is once again fully entrenched on this cart. Randolph Thor getting a little bit of pressure from Scooty, who takes him down with the help of Banana Bolts. They get onto the Widowmaker, who's down once again, and this time I don't think there's going to be a res available. So the advantage firmly in the favor of the Ungentlemen.
And wow, just too much burst damage coming onto PKIV and Tapex. Not able to heal them. Oriotos is also going to be dead. And this should be a captured point.
Yeah, you know, once that Widowmaker was down, there was nothing left over there to guard the flank for the side of Fight to Win. They had no way to really stop the damage coming in at that point. And it just allows the Ungentlemen to roll through, and now they are set up excellently to continue making a lot of progress. Although Randall Thor is going to try to have a say in that as he takes down his counterpart. Rhino is down. That could give them a good chance to get onto the cart once again.
Well, I mean, yes and no. It was very important to get that res onto anti-AIDS, who just brings a lot of damage in this current composition. And honestly, despite having the Widowmakers getting fixed left and right, you need a tank buster, and that's kind of Hanzo's role sometimes.
Yeah, but now Rhino is going to be the one getting the early pickoff, this time onto PKIV. That Transcendence will not be available for the side of Fight to Win, but it is going to be the Dragons coming in from both sides as they try to force the Fight to Win back away from the cart.
Exactly, and despite the Zenyatta's Transcendence being used on the side of Ungentlemen, they still make this trade worthwhile. This trade of ultimate, as they are able to get a couple of meters pushed in and open up the gates on the second point.
Yeah, things are gonna be difficult as Fight to Win try to make their way back onto the cart. It's approaching its second checkpoint, but they've got a lot of ultimates in the bank to work with, including both support ults.
Oh, but anti-AIDS with the flank from the high ground, able to get a pick right off the get-go. And in fact, this is one bongo out, but the supercharger on the side of Fight to Win is still up and running, dealing a lot of damage through the damage increase that it gives your teammates.
Yeah, and right now Fight to Win are doing a really great job of timing their fights. They took the first fight of the second checkpoint immediately after that first doorway and just kind of collapse on the Ungentlemen from there. And now they take a fight just before the second checkpoint, get the stop that they needed, and now they start to bleed a little bit more time off of the Ungentlemen's time bank, just over 2 minutes to work with. They're going to have to continue to hold out here for several more fights if they want to get a full stop on the second checkpoint, but they've given themselves the opportunity.
Despite that being unlikely, it's plausible, with the push once again being put to a halt by not only Arisa's well-placed halts, followed up by the hooks, as we just saw, coming out from Tapex and Tail Yellow, but just the good positioning, the picks that are coming through every time there is a push, people dying way too early. And that's why we get to see the switch on Bullywug switching to Reinhardt.
Yeah, just wants to be a little bit more mobile with that shield. The Orisa not quite working out for them. Gives them a little bit more defense from that halt hook combo. But now both Dragons coming in from the two Hanzos. OP Free is going to be the one to find some pay dirt.
Exactly, and this is where Fight to Win's defense starts to just, falter. Despite Oreo was able to find the resurrection onto Randall Thor. Rhino is just popping off, and once a Widow has your number, you cannot push at all.
Yeah, and that allows the Ungentlemen to make it to the second checkpoint. They've got some momentum moving forward, and just over 2 minutes to work with. They're going to get a good stagger there onto Oreo Toast, which will give them a lot of opportunity to continue to get some free movement on this cart. And now Randolph Thor is stuck in a very awkward position. He's not going to be able to escape with his life and get back to his team. And that just stalls things out even further as Fight to Win look to regroup here.
And that's exactly what they're gonna do. Stay almost in spawn, just regroup. Nobody gets taken off. They need to get a good hold into this point. And in fact, there is a chance to dive tanks right here. Tell Yellow and Apex now onto the Winston Diva. They are very proficient on those characters.
And Scooty getting focused down very heavily right now. Gonna get demeched by the Winston Tail Yellow, coming in aggressively with that, and now Anti-AIDS has all the room in the world to work with. No one to eat up his arrows, and he's going to be able to lay in enough damage for them to retake this cart and give themselves a good regroup here on the point. They've gotten the hold that they needed, and now they have a much better position on the cart for this dive to work with.
Exactly, and the Shimada brothers are just doing incredible work despite having true projectile DPSs here. The fact that this map is sort of streamlined in the sense that there are a lot of corridors, or quote-unquote corridors, despite the big open area in the main part. It just enables to hit so many skill shots. I mean, look at this. As Ungentlemenv pushes in, they're sort of in a line. And that is why it's easy to hit those shots. Anti is able to get a couple of, well, a pick already, I mean. And it's just going to be the next one after the next one.
And now the Transcendence coming out from Banana Balls, trying to keep the members of the Ungentlemen alive on this cart. But now the later Dragon Blade is going to come in from Randolph Thor. He gets a triple kill, just cleaning up with swipe after swipe of the Dragon Blade. Doing excellent work for them, and now there's only 4 seconds left. Are they even going to be able to trigger overtime?
Oh yes, definitely. Though it will only be a trigger, as you said, and nothing more.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to quite get back there to keep it going, and just an excellent timing there on the ultimate from Randolph Thor. He waits until just after the Transcendence has already been popped. The Ungentlemen have no protection whatsoever from the DPS that he's able to put in, and comes up huge at the biggest moment possible for the side of Fight to Win.
Which is exactly what Fight to Win really needed right now. A hold that does not go all the way to the third point, and it's their chance to reverse sweep if they're able to push just a bit further than Ungentlemenv did.
Yeah, and you know that is incredibly doable here on Junkertown. It's not like they even got stopped just before the very end of the map. They were just basically about halfway around that final bend where the payload ultimately stops. So Fight to Win are probably in a very, very good position to be able to take Junkertown.
Yeah, though we've seen first point holds in the Overwatch League, in small time tournaments, and in college tournaments. We've seen it everywhere. It's plausible.
Yeah, Junkertown definitely has a very doable first point hold. It's very versatile in the kind of ways that you're playing it. And before we make our way onto their attack, we're just going to reset so that if Fight to Win are able to fully complete out the map, they get the opportunity to do so. The game just won't stop right where the payload ended. So hopefully we don't wind up in a situation where we kind of have to eyeball who pushed it a little bit further, because I didn't quite catch the meterage there that we had at the very end.
I want to say 67 point something, but I could be completely off.
You know, that sounds right, and we'll go with that for right now. Hopefully, it doesn't even have to be an issue whatsoever. Maybe Fight to Win get the full push that they were looking for, or you know, maybe they get full held here on the first point, like we were talking about. That is always possible on Junkertown, just because I think it is a point where it can be hard to get the ult combinations that you typically see as the kind of surefire ways to take a point. It's a very spread out first point, which means that the Graviton Surge isn't going to have nearly as much value as it would normally. The Earth Shatters are much harder to hit. So you don't have the easy way to get the full team wipe and claim the point that you do on a lot of other maps.
Exactly. And fun fact, Junkertown's first point is one of the reasons why Brigida's Shield Bash launch into space feature got kind of nerfed, because she could jump all the way higher than the houses at certain locations of this map. Just jumping over houses, it was kind of scary.
Yeah, just launching yourself up into the air like Widowmaker. And speaking of Widowmaker, Rhino is going to get a first pick, but then get immediately taken down by anti-AIDS. The res coming in, so the advantage with Fight to Win right now is, with the Ungentlemenv, sorry, as they try to make their defense.
But it just keeps going better and better for them as they get pick after pick. However, Randall Tor is able to find a pick onto Rhino. That is not a pick that will be resable, as Scorpion Zero has his resurrection on a 5-second cooldown still.
Yeah, but now Tail is getting caught out, although Bullywug will give his life for that kill. And Tail might be able to be res back up by Oreo Toast if the cooldown comes in time for him to get that one. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, but now that's going to mean some movement on the cart for the side of Fight to Win as they make their way forward. And now Randall Thor getting the early pick on the Scorpion Zero is huge.
Oh no, and it's going to be up to Rhino to get a flanking Widowmaker headshot somewhere, somehow, to just reestablish the balance. But even then, he would need to get, what, 3-4 of those? Starts with 1, but there will need to be more. Bullywug is there to contest, but the Discord Orb will soften him up despite him being a big hunk of metal. And the recontest comes in too little too late, just after the first point is captured, meaning there will not be no first point hold.
Yeah, we're not going to see that now. In a very good first point offense, they're coming out from the side of Fight to Win. They are now making their way forward. They switch over to the dive composition very early. It's something you see a lot of the time on the second point, but they're opting to do it now. And they're going to try to take advantage of the lack of mobility from the composition on the side of the Ungentlemenv.
And while that is true that there is a lack of mobility, Scooty does have a bit of it, and so does Rhino, but it's mostly on the side of Rhino Peel for himself. The one thing that is sure, Bullywug already getting a pick with that very well placed halt.
Yeah, able to take down both snipers right now, and Fight to Win are going to have to back off without the DPS they need to push forward. The dive getting stifled right now, but coming into this next fight, they're going to have a lot of ultimates to work with. Although Fight to Win has a lot, or the Ungentlemenv have a lot to answer back with both support ults as well as that supercharger available.
Exactly, and that supercharger is nothing to laugh at if DPS ultimates are scary. Supercharger, or bongo as a lot of people like to call it, amplifies the damage of everybody by a large margin, making it one of the deadlier ultimate if left uncontested.
Yeah, but now anti-AIDS just popping off, hits the Dragon Strike, gets a couple of kills after it is over. Despite falling, this fight is pretty much over for the side of the Ungentlemenv. They're going to have an impossible task if they want to try to re-aggress onto this point. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. No, they're just going to back off, try to regroup, put together a stout third point defense, because they are going to have to hold on to this one for a very long time. Over 4 minutes left in the tank for the side of Fight to Win as they make their way forward.
And I mean, at this point, you don't even have to ask yourself, will Fight to Win push all the way to the point where Ungentlemenv did? But it is more of, can they push all the way to the end? And as that we say that, Tail Yellow just jumps onto the high ground contesting, while Randall Tor is able to have all that safe space bought for him and just shoot as freely as he wants to. Kind of like he's at a firing range.
Yeah, and I think now is the time that the Ungentlemen need to be making some swaps. They've been stuck on this Orisa for a very long time, and now Blue going over to the Winston. The dive defense now coming in for the side of the Ungentlemen. They finally make the switches that they need, but I think it's going to be a little bit too little too late, as now Tell Yellow getting into the back line, batting that Mercy around. Scorpion Zero under a lot of pressure and gets taken down. That's a great opening pickoff for the side of Fight to Win.
And here it goes around this percentage is, not this percentage, this mileage is where Fight to Win would have won this map, but they're looking to close it out. With 3 minutes left on the clock, they can definitely attempt it and maybe even succeed. Randall already finding the first pick onto Scorpion Zero with his well-placed shot onto his head. Now looking for more, not able to converge any kills into reality, as it's OP Freeze, because Genji was able to find the ballistic charges, projectiles into people's corpses.
Yeah, OP Freeze doing a great job on the Genji there, just dancing around the members of Fight to Win as they try to make their way forward onto the point. He pounces on them as soon as that Transcendence had run out from the side of PKIV. Then it allows the Ungentlemen to gain a foothold on this point, but now they've got to continue to try to hold out here for over 2 minutes.
And I mean, what's left in it for them? Pride, duh. Why would never give up? Always fight. Bullywug needs to redeem himself with some questionable plays on the Orisa in Junkertown. Now doing a great job on this Winston, and he just needs to keep on pulling it off.
Yeah, but now the swap's coming in from the side of Fight to Win. They want to go for this triple tank. They're going for the 303 composition, but OP Freeze going to shut that down with an early Dragon Blade. The composition has no chance to get itself going. The healing can't come through when all of you are dead. And OP Freeze just basically single-handedly cleans up that fight.
Exactly. I mean, once you take out the heals on this composition, yes, you have big hunks of meat ready to just punch you with a moderate amount of damage, but if you soften them up and they don't get healed, they can quite easily go down.
Yeah, they're gonna go for it again. Once again, trying to go through this low ground. No Dragon Blade this time to shut them down, and now they've got a chance to brawl on this card.
Exactly, and brawling is what this comp is made to. Tapex already finding a pick out to Scorpion Zero with the, once again, the self-destruct sequence. He's been very efficient with those. Now looking to get Banana Bolt, and he's able to do so as well. Tapex just kind of MVP, taking out a lot of people. Though some people on the side of Ungentlemen are still alive, up to contest. OP Freeze is using Dragon Blade, though the Graviton Surge will group him up and make him an easy target. It's going to be up to Scorpion Zero to contest, with then Banana Bolts coming with the Transcendence. The supports desperately trying to keep it together. Bullywug now contesting the card. Soul Member that's able to do so. And it's fine, as he's buying a lot of time right now for Ungentlemen, though just not enough for Scooty to get there.
Yeah, Scooty not quite able to make it back to the point. The Brigitte getting into the back line right by the spawn doors, just completely shutting them down with the CC from the shield bash and the whip shot as well. Just keeps them from having any opportunity to get onto the point. And there we have it. The Ungentlemen get reverse swept. Fight to Win. Fight it back. They go down 2-0 and then win the subsequent 3 maps. But showing some excellent resolve there for the side of Fight to Win. And it looks like these teams want to go to another map potentially. I'm always up for it. We usually only get a 5-map series here in our Scrim-Nights, but that definitely I'm always up for more Overwatch.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We might be getting another map. I just thought that people would run 5, which is why I announced it as the final game, and so did you. But if we're down for one more, if one more is what the teams want, we can always get a 3-3.
Yeah, I mean That's kind of the beauty of being able to come in and scrim like this. These teams have a lot of control over exactly how they want to play and how long they want to go. So if they've got the time to bring us some more excellent Overwatch, then I am happy to watch it and bring it to anyone who is willing to watch it here on our channel. So now we'll be making our way over to Kings Row for what I believe this time will actually be the final map of our series.
Oh yeah, definitely. And if it's not, I mean, I just need some water and some sleep.
I
I'm
need to
tired.
take a nap in between maps next time if we're gonna keep going with this. But
Yeah.
I believe this one will actually be the last chance, our last rodeo here, if you will. And I can't say I'm sad to see it because I personally love Kings Row.
Yeah, I was about to say if there's one map that I don't need to nap in between, or take some sleep or drink some water, or even take a small vacation to Hawaii to watch is Kings Row. It's just so revigorating, the oldest map, and yet always keeps me around, keeps me hyped, keeps me surprised with whatever is viable on it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be pretty obvious exactly what is viable on this map right now because the characters that you are seeing played on Kings Row have long been the kind of more stationary composition. You've seen the Reinhardt and Zarya on this map going all the way back to the very beginnings of Overwatch, and that hasn't really changed that much, even when Dive was firmly in the meta. And now that these characters are all now that these characters are all back in the meta, there's really not a whole lot else being played in terms of compositions.
Yeah, currently it's true. Right now it's stale, but throughout the time it has never been stale. And you know what's never stale? Watching your Reinhardt pin another one into the wall, and that's exactly what Bullywug is doing right currently. Just being a big mean bully and just keeping people off his point, marking his territory.
He hits the very aggressive charge, and that is one of the best ways that you can burst through all of the healing coming out from this triple support combination that Fight to Win are opting to run right now. The charge is one excellent way to put a lot of damage down immediately, but now they're making their way back onto the point aggressively behind the Reinhardt shield, and the Brigitte moving forward from the side of Randolph 4 right now.
Oh, the well-blocked ultimate. The Earthshatter not being very efficient on the side of Bullywug and Fight to Win, as ShyGuyOW is able to block it, and now he has his own. However, he will get just melted before he can use it, and Scooty's the one who is able to charge his ultimate and stay alive long enough to use it, meaning that the advantage is for Fight to Win, and they will be able to hold this point.
Yeah, and that last stagger onto BKIV is actually who, but now the rally coming in from Randolph 4. He wants to get aggressive onto this point because there's only a couple members for the side of the Ungentlemen left here to fight this one out. It's just the supports, and they're getting focused down immediately, but now the reinforcements have arrived in the form of Bullywug and Rhino.
Oh, and here it comes, a Graviton Surge coming from Apex, though the beautiful counter from Banana Boat's able to keep everybody alive. And that is what matters, contesting. Just stay alive on the point. That's what's being well done right now by Fight to Win.
Yeah, an excellent re-engagement there on the side of the Ungentlemen. They just get back onto the point. OP Freeze and Scorpion Zero did a great job of somehow staying alive through all of that. I'm not sure how the Mercy didn't fall down there, but they just buy enough time for Bullywug and Scooty to come back in aggressively. Banana Boats with the clutch transcendence, keeping everyone up and alive, and now they've got a good opportunity to keep this hold moving as they push forward into the side of Fight to Win.
And now Bullywug almost has his Earthshatter, which was before an advantage that Ungentlemen had going for them, that ShyGuyOW had his, and now Bullywug. That has been mitigated now because both of them have it up, and they need to build some other sort of advantage throughout this fight if they want to hope anything comes through.
Yeah, a big Earthshatter or a big Graviton Surge comes in from Scooty. The Dragon Strike is there from Rhino to clean up enough damage for the remaining members of the Ungentlemen to push forward, gather all of the kills up. A very easy fight win for them on the back of that big ultimate from the side of Scooty.
However, that might bite Ungentlemen in the butt. They have nothing to hold. I mean, not hold, to push now. No Earth Shatter, no nothing. They used ultimates despite being kind of cancelled right there by the Graviton Surge Dragon Strike combo.
Yeah, and still the Transcendence, the Earth Shatter, and shortly the Valkyrie are available for the side of the Ungentlemen. And it's going to be the Transcendence to open things up on this engagement. And luckily, Fight to Win have just kind of kited back from that, but the charge coming in onto Tail Yellow is going to be absolutely massive for Bullywug.
I mean, if anything, this was a blessing for Fight to Win. A questionable, very questionable, in fact, Transcendence coming out from BKIV, though even that is not enough to, you know, just confirm the capture.
Yeah, and it's just Tail Yellow and Randolph Thor on this point now. Randolph Thor dancing around on the Tracer, trying to buy enough time for his teammates to make it back in. TapX is able to do so on the Diva, but he gets pushed off the point, and no one else is able to do that. That will complete the full hold for the side of Ungentlemen, and that is a textbook way to play King's Row.
Now, I want to make amends because I made a mistake. It was not PKIV who, in fact, made a mistake with his Transcendence. It was Banana Bolt on the defensive side who just came in with his Transcendence and went very aggressive, healing nobody really with it. Just using it to reposition between Mercy and Zenyatta and going for the 1v2, which ended up getting him killed. Very questionable, but you know what? In the end, it worked out. He knew they were at the heavy advantage, and just having two members focus on him for a while was enough to make the fight swing in their favor.
Yeah, and now the Ungentlemen have a fairly straightforward task on their hand to take King's Row. You know, they're gonna get an opportunity to push through the entire map just for practice sake. But all they really have to do to get the win ultimately is take that first point. And I think given the way they just came out on the defense, that is looking very, very likely.
Oh yeah, definitely. They've just looked like this was their home turf, that they were born here, they knew all the ins and outs of the city, and that they knew how to hold it. They knew how to hold their ground, and that can be contributed to the fact, I mean, there is a contribution by what you just said, the composition just being a standard here in this map. Why? You get used to it. Once you've played so many games on defense with this composition, you just get used to everything Slambulance coming in or anything else.
Yeah, and you saw the dangers of the Slambulance there, as they didn't have the follow-up that you need on the Graviton Surge. They didn't have a Dragon Strike or a Riptire or a Rocket Barrage to take anyone out once that ultimate came in from TapX. But now Anti-AIDS gets the early first pick on the Banana Bolts. The res coming in, no longer available for Scorpion Zero if anyone else is to fall on the side of the Ungentlemen.
Exactly. Now Bullywug will be the person that's important to watch. If he goes down, this push falters, but so far he is very healthy and doing well for himself. As soon as I'd say that, gets almost melted. Does need a Zarya bubble, projected bubble, just to stay alive. It's such a great tool, that barrier basically protecting somebody, and just says, wow, let's live. Let's live.
Randolph Thor going on a bit of a flank mission, was able to take down Banana Bolts, ultimately gets Bullywug there before he goes down. So given Fight to Win a good opportunity to continue this hold, as now OP Freeze finally gets dealt with up on the high ground. Anti-AIDS takes him down with the headshot. He is going to be the one who has to deal with his Junkrat. There's no one else who can really get up onto the high ground for the defense. But now with TapX going down, Oreotos is going to have to use this res very early in this fight. Now the Valkyrie coming out for the side of Fight to Win.
And here it goes, the tire coming through. It's going to be canceled by Tail Yellow's Fire Strike, and ultimately It's just a great hold so far being done by Fight to Win. They're showing that they can also hold this point very well. 2 minutes 17 on the clock, and they're gonna, you know what? Ungentlemen are gonna have to pull something off.
Yeah, and that time it was TailYolo with the hero plays. Gets the Earth Shatter onto the opposing Reinhardt. Bullywug goes down from that and then takes down the Riptire before it can do any damage to his team. But now all of the ults in the world are starting to come on the line for the side of the Ungentlemen. But first it'll be a Graviton Surge and Dragon Strike for Fight to Win. Anti-AIDS gets 5 big kills off the back of that.
Okay, you know what? Anti-Age is showing off, being like, hey, want to see my cool play in the game? And just firing his Dragon Strike. I mean, why not at this point? When you know it's gonna end up in big kills, and when you free fight, you need to fire that Dragon Strike into the Graviton Surge.
Yeah, and now this is the fight for the Ungentlemen. This is the one they have to win if they want to take this point. The Graviton Surge and the Dragon Strike coming in, but Rhino was a little bit off with the Dragon Strike. He's not going to be able to pick up anyone besides TailYolo with that, who is separate from the Graviton Surge.
Exactly, but does it really matter at this point? In theory, Ungentlemen have already won as they have captured the first tick. And what also mattered there was that the Transcendence was used. It is now not available. Here goes second tick, only one more needed in order to fully capture this point as the Earthshatter comes through. Though it's not what matters now. What matters is just keeping everybody up with the rally. Dragon Strike coming through as well. Hanzo doing a lot of work. Rhino just showing off right now with his pick, just showing that Hanzo is there and is here to stay, even this match in the next one and the one after that.
Yeah, he didn't get a whole lot out of that first Dragon Strike. Wasn't actually able to connect with the Graviton Surge. Only got one kill off the back of it, but then quickly builds up to another one. Is able to zone the members of Fight to Win off of the point, allows them to come in and finally get the third tick. And now they've started to get some progress on the payload, and it's going to be up to Fight to Win to come back in, but they've got the ultimates to do it with the Earth Shatter and shortly the Graviton Surge Dragon Strike combo.
Man, I'm telling you, Rhino is listening in on our comms. We doubted him twice, and right after that came true again just to prove us wrong. And despite that Graviton, I mean not despite, that Graviton Surge had this, it confirmed that the fight was won.
Yeah, and actually, what I would like to see out of the Ungentlemen right now is try to get aggressive and stop any opportunity for Fight to Win to re-engage onto this point. I don't think they're going to have time to get back to the cart. Not going to happen. And a second checkpoint taken for the Ungentlemen. And now they've got just under 3.5 minutes left on the clock, but the Graviton Surge Dragon Strike is going to ensure a quick team wipe for Fight to Win as they push the Ungentlemen back towards their spawn.
Yeah, I mean, that was just brutal, though. I mean, the second point was already captured, meaning that the spawn is just that much closer. And what could have ended up being amazing if they were to able to pull it off before the second point was captured is now just a very mediocre hold. We're using a lot of resources to barely stop Ungentlemen for 20 seconds or so. And here it goes. Dragon Strike comes through already. Very good. Though, even though it splits people, it's not enough to turn into a very big advantage, meaning that Fight to Win are able to recontest right now, as you see TailYolo going very aggressive, and it pays off.
Yeah, and the individual play right there from Randolph Thor is making this Roadhog work right now. He gets the hook onto Bullywug and pulls him off of the map. Which just allows for TailYolo to come through with the Earth Shatter, make sure there's no protection available for the side of the Ungentlemen. And now TailYolo is almost back up to another Earth Shatter this time. He got so much damage in that last fight that he's gotten it back even with Bullywug once again.
Exactly, and TailYolo, you know what? Oh no! Gets pushed off by the hammer onto the pit of doom. Probably the molten lava that's down there is gonna kill him. Or something. If that's not it, well then you know what will kill him? Probably the defeat of his team, because he got pushed down. He's gonna have one more deciding shot at a great Earth Shatter. Gets moved up the map once again. by the Brigida's shield into the shield bash into flail push into the graviton strike that confirms his angle, pushes him down. Though the fight is not over, despite Reinhardt being down, both Transcendence being used, a rally also there to protect everybody, and ultimately this is going to be a capture unless PKIV is able to contest long enough. Vandal Thor now here pushing somebody off as well, Scooty Zarya, but ultimately it is not a C9. It's just the lack of resources to contest a card, and Ungentlemen are going to bring it tree to tree in this series.
I have never seen anything quite like that on
my.
King's Row. We saw 3 team fights in a row with a Reinhardt going off of the map on the final point of King's Row. That is, I mean, those kind of kills are something you see once in a blue moon. It's not a very common occurrence, but that was wild to see. That is unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I never thought I would get to see 3 kills while 2 were on the same person that were environmental. That is absolutely massive.
Yeah, and you know, those hype moments there, the very end of the match are going to bring us to our conclusion here this evening. These 2 teams wind up being very, very evenly matched throughout the evening. We wind up with a 3-3 tie and a bit of an unconventional scoreline for our scrims, but that was some excellent back and forth Overwatch that we got to take part in tonight.
Exactly. And so I would like to say thank you to Fight to Win and Ungentlemen to be willing to be here and play for us over at Broadcast.gg. We are just a small community of commentators, hosts, and producers that are looking to improve. And if you are interested in that sort of nonsense, if you're here to commentate, host, or produce tournaments, just even if you're new, come and say hello in our Discord and just follow the Twitter. I would like to thank Shy Guy and Vflight not only for the commentating but also the production of this stream itself. And unless you have anything else to say, I think this will be all for tonight.
No, I think that'll just about cover it. It has been a pleasure casting with you, and I hope everyone who is watching enjoyed what we had to bring tonight. And thank you all for watching.
And good night.
I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater.